My husband's days are numbered, and he has come to terms with it, but I just can't deal with it. I, 42F, have been married to my husband, 38M, for over 10 years. We met when I was 24 in a club. Ever since I knew him, he could never accept any health damages. For instance, he fell from a ladder from about 2 meters or so and went into the hospital just because I insisted. When he was 25, he started complaining about his knee hurting really badly when he bent it. It took me 5 years to persuade him to go to the doctor over this, and he ended up having surgery. After the surgery, he was supposed to rest for 2 months, but after 2 weeks, he was back to working out and jogging. 2 years ago, he was diagnosed with leukemia. He immediately stopped smoking after the diagnosis and worked out even more than before to boost his health. However, it didn't help at all, and last month his health went downhill. He became pale and weak to the point where I had to help him up the stairs on a few occasions. 2 days ago, while dining, our daughter, 15F, asked him if he could take her hiking to the Alps next year. He just said something along the lines of, "I'm not sure if I'll still be around by that time." I kept my cool at that moment. After our daughters left to go to sleep, I blew up on him. I started screaming, and I can't even remember exactly what it was anymore. Something like, "From the moment I met you, you never gave in to any health condition. You always overcame everything, and now, out of nowhere, you're just going to accept it and kick the bucket?" Normally, he would raise his voice at me, saying, "We are not animals in this house, so we will not scream at each other." But not then. He just glared into the corner of the kitchen and said nothing. When his eyes started watering, my heart shattered into thousands of pieces. At that moment, I knew I only had a short amount of time left with the love of my life, and I will forever regret blowing up at him. I apologized for everything, and he told me I didn't even have to, that it's only natural, and that stages of grief are a real thing. We had a long talk today, and I decided to arrange bucket list days for him so he can enjoy the last few months he has. Update 1. Hello Reddit. I haven't really had the intention to post on here again, but my therapist thought it might be therapeutic to do so since it helped the last time. My kids are at my late husband's parents', so I've had some wine to give me the will to actually write this down. As you might have guessed from my previous text, it happened. My husband passed away about half a year ago, and I miss him so damn much. I wanted to thank all of you who suggested grief counseling. Me, my late husband, and our 2 daughters attended about 2 months after my original post, and without it, we would most likely be more destroyed than we already are. I also wanted to thank the person who suggested my husband film videos for our daughters' life goals. We together made some videos for their graduation, marriage, first child, and other major life goals. It actually took us much longer than it could have because it was just too hard for us. The realization that our life together was over was just so difficult. If the text doesn't make sense, I'm very sorry. I'm crying with every word I write, and I take breaks, so the text might be unreadable. I will try to correct any mistakes. Now to the happy part. Before the love of my life got really bad, we tried to do as many things from his bucket list as possible. I never thought I could enjoy so many things I wouldn't care for otherwise, like MMA. It was his passion for such a long time, but he never actually saw any fight in person. We finally went to the castle in the center of our city for the first time after living here for 6 years. We never had the time, but now we had all the time in the world for ourselves and our kids. We traveled a lot, went to see the Stonehenge, such a curious sight. After that, we went to see the fjords, which fascinated him so much. We also went to see the northern lights. It was just so beautiful. We couldn't stay long anywhere so we could get back for my husband's therapy, and the girls had to go to school. We also got to see the Colosseum and some more great sights. I hated myself for quite some time after the events of my last post. When he was still alive, he mentioned it only once, telling me not to worry about it. He said it was just the silent thoughts said out loud, and he didn't want me to ever worry about it again or he'll haunt me. Some of you might think that it was not nice, but we used to have a specific sense of humor, and we have one rule in our house: as long as it's funny, it's allowed. Also, if the person who is being made fun of finds it funny, it's okay. He got really bad about a month before passing. I mean, when we were traveling, he was in a wheelchair, but that was only for the long walks. But in the last month, he already couldn't move without it. I hated to see him in that state. It hurt both me and our daughters. It was just so painful. I also saw his pain in his eyes. He was so angry that he couldn't go his own way. Assisted unalive is not legal where we live. He always supported it, and I didn't used to. But now, when I saw how much pain he was in, I would do anything just for him to feel better. He deserved to choose his own way out. What he didn't deserve was to spend his last days in pain or medicated. In his last moments, our whole family was with him, including my parents and in-laws. In one of his last conscious moments, he told us all how much he loves us. I tried to be so strong for our girls, and I was. I stayed together until after his funeral. After seeing him gone, I broke down, knowing that it's all over, but at least he didn't feel any more pain. I will never forget you, Patrick. I will forever love you. You were my light in this dark world, the fire that kept me from freezing. Now I will try to be as good of a support as you were to me for our daughters who love you so much. I miss you.